Thoughts on the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Allah tells us, "Wherever you may be, death will overcome you, even if you were in fortified towers." Nisa 478. Whether rich or poor, young or old, once the fixed term of our life ends, every soul tastes death. It is the reality of life that no one escapes death. We have no doubt many sincere people in the UK will feel sadness at the passing of their head of state. We do not follow the example of the champions of free speech, who deem it right to mock and laugh at any and every time. Nor do we follow the hypocritical champions of free speech, who approve of mockery of the prophets of Allah, but will sanctify the passing of a monarch by condemning those who make jokes at this time. However, we will speak straightforwardly, making a few brief points. Firstly, although this particular monarch was head of a state in a mostly post-imperial era, it was still an era in which Britain, following on from its imperial past, that has had a terrible history in the Muslim world and other places. The most appalling crimes have been committed in the name of this monarch in Kenya, like the massacres of the Mau Mau, and in Yemen in the 1960s. Wars were launched in Iraq in 1991 and 2003, as well as in Afghanistan in 2001, leading to death, destruction, occupation, and destabilization. Moreover, in her role as head of state, the late Queen had a direct role in giving legitimacy to some of the most odious and oppressive regimes in the Muslim world, like those in the Saudi state, Jordan, Oman, and the Gulf states in general. In addition, it is in her name that the likes of Salman Rushdie have been honored by Britain. For what she represented, it is difficult for a Muslim to mourn her passing. Secondly, monarchy is a strange system where somebody becomes head of state purely by birthright, just because they are descended from someone who attained their position over others by force. It is an unjust system, where the head of state is above the law, and all taxes are collected in their names, whilst they, despite being amongst the richest, do not pay tax, while the poorest carry an unequal burden of taxation. Indeed, the royal family is surrounded by opulent luxury while so many British citizens struggle daily to make ends meet. So it is hard to celebrate or commiserate the changing of a monarch. Thirdly, we are all too aware of how things work at such times. Many ordinary people feel sad at the passing of their head of state. Yet governments exploit such times of mourning. They find it hard to cement ties of citizenship against a background of a hemorrhaging confidence in the political system, a cost of living and energy crisis where not everyone is in it together, insecurity in the world due to war and conflict. So we are aware that the state media and corporate media will manipulate people's emotions to generate patriotic sentiments to try to bind society together, albeit temporarily. We hope that all clear-thinking people will see beyond the circus that will be made out of a death and a funeral, and not allow their political leaders to escape scrutiny. Finally, we remind everyone of the ultimate lesson of death, which is that it marks the junction between the deeds of this world, and the hereafter where we will be answerable for those deeds. Every soul will taste death. And we test you with good and evil as a trial, then to us you will all be returned. Al-Anbiya 21:35.